My name is Tim Prindle, and for many, many years, maybe all of my life, I've kept my farrier business and my producing, acting, industry, everything Hollywood separate. And now, this is like the first time I'm going to merge the two. So, this is me. This is what I do. This is my craft when I'm not producing a movie. And I just thought, hey, you know what? This is a prime opportunity to talk about my film while I'm doing what I've done all my life and see what happens. I have no idea, but basically, I, with a team of partners, have started to produce a film. It's a horror movie / supernatural western, and horses are a huge part of it. So this is actually maybe highly relevant, but maybe I'll just start there because it is kind of interesting how all of my life has been horses. And of course it has to be implemented into a film that I'm creating. It's an indie film, and it has the quality, high quality of a Hollywood film. So I'm kind of going into talking about how if you have a movie inside you or a vision, anything that you want to create, you can come from grassroots. You can be a farrier, plumber, coffee barista, anything, and create the art that you want to create. Making a movie is not too different from molding a hoof into the shape that you need it to be or he needs it to be. And so it's a good parallel. In any case, I was talking about horses in the film. I'll start there because one of the thoughts I was thinking about while driving here today is how we started a long time ago. I mean, it's millions of dollars to make a movie, and the way you do it is you start with smaller amounts and you do what you can with what you have and make connections with people who have more money. And so one of the very first iterations, it's super cool. I should link to it somehow in the descriptions maybe. But one of the versions I wrote with my partner, and this was actually before it became an indie film feature. It was written for TV, and I was adamant that we had the character kind of like a Lone Ranger, modern Lone Ranger of sorts, but he has after coming back from the dead through skinwalker magic, which is Navajo lore, that he has a telepathic ability with animals, most specifically horses. And in our very first iteration, we had that. And it was super cool. Hunter comes back to life, and the horse gets spooked. Of course, by the darkness. And, you know, a few moments later in the film, you hear this squeal, and the horse comes galloping back up to him. Hunter, the lead character. And they have kind of a moment. And I really miss that in films. I mean, or when I do see it, I always appreciate the beauty of the partnership between an animal and the lead character. I saw it with Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. Kind of wanted to create that in ours. So, my partners, I'm trying to convince them to put more of that into our film now, but it was taken out, the utilization of horses and like the telepathy and the connection stuff, because it's expensive, and horses animals don't always do what you want them to do. So, but I disagree with a lot of training. We can get there, and I think it's just so powerful, the moments that you can share with that. In the book version that I wrote, I'll give a little, I'll ruin it a little bit. There's a moment, it's not in the movie, but there's Hunter's horse that he pretty much tries to save its life by letting it go loose in the midst of a buffalo stampede, and then Hunter is overcome by his abilities and collapses and is pretty much out of it in another world. And in the book version, you hear that squeal, and the horse comes out of nowhere back from who knows where, and Hunter's on the ground, and the horse just comes up to him and lays a nose on his face, and it propels him into the supernatural world, where we start to see the trauma of where Hunter came from, which isn't pretty. And so I really liked that. So, hey, I got to put it in the book. We'll see if you guys have any thoughts or ideas. Maybe I can convince them to keep it for the film. Yeah, that's nice. Did I do this one? Nope. So, what I also want to talk about that will be relevant to anyone who has a movie inside of them. And when I say a movie inside of them, I mean that which they have wanted since they were a child. And it's in everyone. And I will say that while you're trying, while you're accomplishing your mission in your life, you can choose to accept it or not. But if you choose to accept it, it's not going to be easy. And if you don't choose to accept it, usually it's comfortable. And it is surely not comfortable when you go after your vision, your dreams. So I want to share a couple of things. A lot of times people see the end product and think, oh my God, I can't believe they did that, it's so beautiful, or whatever, and they don't see the struggle. So there were many times in many of our shootings in doing this that could have just gone downhill very, very quickly. But it doesn't. And I will tell you that secret. And you should implement it immediately. And that is, when you're going up the mountain, or you're standing in front of the mountain, you see the top. There's going to be fires all around you. And no matter what you come in front of, nothing should come between you and the top. You're already there. That vision has to be in your third eye all the time. And when I say all the time, especially when you're shooting, and that's more directly what I'm talking about. On set, you will have fires around you, metaphorically. And you have to tuck your head and push forward like you have never pushed before, because there is no other way. There is no going back. You've chosen. You can't do anything but move forward in some way. I'll tell you a couple, I'm going to leave my grinder away because I want to keep talking here. When we were shooting in Montana, we had rehearsed a fight scene for months. I certainly did. Months and months to get it exactly how we wanted it to be. It was like set to be 4 minutes long, just grueling through the mud. And we had a gentleman who is fairly well known, who is a stunt actor and regular actor. Absolutely incredible. Huge, and he had to be over like in the 6'5" range. We wanted him extra bigger than Hunter, right? So, there you go. That's a good boy. So he was doing great, and we met several times in the park, and we started going through it. And it turns out, I believe it was like a week before we shot. I believe he did a tournament, like a judo tournament or something, and got slammed to the ground. Huge guy like that, can't imagine. But he like hurt his neck, and that was it. We had no more giant in our necessary film that needed a giant for the opening part of the film. And so that was out, and we had literally maybe, I don't know, less than a week to find someone new. So thank God I had the most incredible stunt choreographer who knows people, and he found someone in Boston, Andrew, and he accepted. He was like, I think, taller than the other guy, and he was 6'4", and he just happened to be in, I think, Boston visiting his family. But anyway, he accepted. So that's not where the story ends, though. The story goes is that, great, we got our guy back, and we're pretty confident he can learn everything in a few days. And before he comes out, before the stunt coordinator comes out, I get a call from the stunt coordinator, and he says that they have not received the contracts yet from SAG, so they can't get on the plane the next day. So we have everything invested. I'm already up in Montana. People, over 100 people are going to be on set, extras, everybody, with no main character who's doing this big stunt fight scene, which is the main emphasis of why we shot in Montana. So that's what I'm talking about, is that you must bull forward. My line producer tried like hell to contact SAG, and they weren't helping out, it seemed. And so I got on the horn and contacted them and said, look, if we don't get those contracts by tonight, I don't have a movie. I don't have stunt actors tomorrow, and we're done. So I need those now. And sure enough, those contracts came in the night before they had to go up to Montana. So push forward, push forward. Another time like that was, interestingly enough, when we shot one of our first pieces, which is still huge money to do a piece with a lot of cast and crew. And there we go. Take a look. I got a call the night before, and the person who was supposed to haul the horse, there was a big horse scene, said that the tire was flat and they couldn't haul the horse the night before. I said, that's not an option. I think it was like 2 a.m. we had to shoot the next day. So at like 2 a.m., I drive out with my own truck and I pick up the trailer myself, because she had the horse trailer. And I parked it near the horse that we were going to use, ready for the next day, which was shooting in, very early, of course. That's good boy. That's good boy. Beautiful. So that's another story. Good. Now, when we talk about fires, putting out fires, literally our first piece, the same piece with the horse moment, fires erupted all around us. Actually, we were surrounded by fires. Metaphorically, it was quite interesting for Hunter Grail, and we ended up getting shut down. And it was only, of course, when that happens, you're like, it's a horrible thing. What about our movie? And it actually made it better, because we didn't have enough time to dedicate to the next scenes that were so important if we were to only have shot that day. And so we were able to go more in depth. We raised more money to come back after the fires to do those scenes. And of course, that piece went out to the people that we are using now for another round. It's just, these are the rounds that need to happen as an indie producer to make a high quality Hollywood movie. It's making those connections, the layers, and proving yourself one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Good boy, Jackson. I'm almost done with him. We've done pretty much the full trim, almost, while having our discussion. Hope you've enjoyed it. But there might be one more thing I want to talk about as I'm just cleaning up the tops here. And that is for our actors out there. You know, when I first came out here, I didn't know anything about acting. I mean, I did some plays, and some low-budget horror movies, as I was out, started my career in some commercials. It's nice. But as I said in a previous video, I was trying to do, and that's not what you do as an actor. As I've learned, I was in an acting class for like 5 years and totally changed my life in that front. And even, I think any actor can align with this, is that when you start to go deep into yourself, it's almost like therapy in a way. You connect with the root of who you are. That is what you need to put into your characters. It doesn't have anything to do with what you think the audience wants to see or what's trending or any of that crap. It's who you are, and that's the truth. So a lot of times actors can get discouraged, and this is one thing I wish I had known, something to tell my younger self or anyone out there to do. And maybe now people are I've seen it on TikTok and YouTube and whatnot. People are starting to take control of their own outcomes, their own life, not depending, acting life, careers, not depending on studios or the next audition. When you start doing it because you want to create art, people notice that, and that's where things start to shift. It did with me, anyway. And so my thoughts are, and I've told other actors or aspiring actors, you have a phone, and what I did is I started finding the scenes that fit me really well and just started doing them myself and posting them. And you got to be brave. Part of it is putting your heart out there and letting go. But start putting a YouTube channel together with your scenes that are strong, and or write a scene, or write a project, and start to make those connections with the people that you need to. Like for Hunter Grail, I kept contact with everyone who I loved working with. Lucas, the director, I did a couple of commercials before I sent him the script, and he loved the script and came on board and has been a partner ever since. My acting teacher, Brian Chesters, is also my producing partner. And between them all, it's like a compounding effect. Everyone has incredible, talented friends, and they, of course, communicate, and that's where the network comes in the family. So if you have that movie inside of you, you have to create that family. And that's where the magic starts happening. When it's not just you, it's like a mountain of skill and talent come together to create a sculpture, or the hoof. But it's just me doing the hoof. What else can I add? This is the last little stretch here I'm doing. I think today you have to be very, very creative. There's a lot of course, rejection, and I can't tell you the number of times people have rejected you know, when we bring our project to so-and-so or whatever. But there's someone who loves it out there. And like I said before, I applied for the grant, the Montana grant, and they loved our story and we qualified for it. So we shot in Montana. So there's a lot of creativity involved with raising money, and it's just about who your connections are, your resources, and making win-wins for everyone. I think that is the bread and butter, the grit of making an indie film and taking it to a Hollywood level. There we go. It's going to be nice. Keeps the bacteria at bay. Speaking of bacteria, there's a scene in Hunter Grail where I get my mouth shoved into pig shit and horse shit. And everyone was concerned that I was going to have a problem afterwards. But I did. The ride home from Montana was a little rough. I had a sore throat for a while, but I guess I worked it off. The immune system. It was pretty slick in there, and the pigs just were such an added accent to the film. Oh my gosh, so much in the way of how even the littlest prop or a pig or man, there was even our prop guy had set up that he found on the location a deer skull with the antlers, put it on Hunter Grail's chest drawers, and it made the emotions so much darker. It was just incredible. So, gosh, wardrobe. There's so much you could go into talking about the makeup, the effects, the supernatural effects, and the trauma effects to make everything come together. That team, especially in Montana, was incredible, and I hope to use them again here in the near future. So that's my talk, and Jackson was very good for the whole thing.